Hello there, and welcome back to the Clairecodes channel. So today is actually the second installment of the quarantine comedy special featuring me, Claire. What does this have to do with coding? I'm not even sure. We will see if we actually talk about coding at all. So the first topic I want to discuss has to do with a graphic design internship I had once upon graduating from School of Visual Arts with a graphic design degree. So at the time, I was working at the Met, which was so cool. I was a sales associate, and I was working at the Met, dang. Everyone was really nice, and people would come up and, purchase things, and sometimes I would sell them a membership and get some extra dough. And they would also ask me, what's your favorite exhibits, and I got to, talk about art all the time, and it was really cool. So anyway, this graphic design internship opportunity came around, and it was in the great land of Brooklyn, and I went on the interview, and right on the spot after the interview I was offered the gig, and it was at a startup. I had never worked at a startup before, and I wanted a graphic design internship. So I gave in my resignation letter to the Met, which I was a little sad about, and I think part of getting the job is it was actually going to be an hour and a half to a 2-hour commute from my house, because I live in Westchester, and I take the train. Is that weird? Westchester. I take the train in, and so yeah. And I remember the interview. I asked him a question like, "All right, so what would help someone succeed here, or what do you value at your company?" And he listed a few things. And the last thing he listed, I'll never forget, was he was like, recycling. I was like, oh, okay. So I made sure, whenever I had a drink on that job, or a can, or whatever, what have you, or a bottle, I would recycle it, because I wanted to keep that job, especially because it had the potential of turning into a full-time job, which it did not. So that job was interesting in many ways. One being, I was the only non-male there. It was very small. It was me, 3 guys around my age, and the CEO, the founder of the company. And every Friday we would have Whiskey Friday, where he'd pour us out some whiskey into a cup. And I remember, I think the first or the second week, someone was like, "I feel like I'm growing hair on my chest." And I was just there being like, "Yup, lots of hair." It's very funny. The other thing about that job is that there were snacks, which I think is always a plus, and please, if you run a company, always have snacks for your employees. The only thing is they were mostly Cheez-Its. Some weeks, only Cheez-Its. And so me and the guys started a Cheez-It bet system. So the first time, there was a whiteboard, and the CEO was very particular about this whiteboard and it being clean. So we each drew something on the whiteboard, and our bet was whose would stay up the longest. I did not win, and everyone who lost had to eat 2 packs of Cheez-Its within an hour. Suffice to say, after leaving that job, I never wanted a Cheez-It pack again in my life. Another bet, which was kind of a sad bet for me, was the CEO. He also studied graphic design at School of Visual Arts, and so he would come over and correct me a lot. I mean, the great thing about the job is I learned a lot. I'm an Illustrator pro now, because he would come over and show me tips and tricks and stuff, and most of the time it was helpful. Sometimes though, he would kind of step in and be like, "Actually do this, actually do that," and kind of correct me in a not so great productive way. And sometimes he would also take the mouse from me and just take over, and so without asking. So the bet that week was, or that day, was how many times is the CEO going to correct Claire in one day? And I was like, oh, come on guys, it's not going to be that much, maybe 5 times, and everyone else's numbers were above me. And then we counted, and we were counting in Slack, and so whenever it happened, someone would be like, +1, +1, and I think it got up to 10 to 12, so I lost. Cheez-Its were eaten, and it was a sad day. It was truly sad. Moving on. We're now going to talk about something slightly related to coding, actually. Let's discuss the stickers on my laptop. So we have a UX unicorn. I actually want to be a UX UI developer because I studied graphic design, and I had 2 positions as a front-end dev, and I think that would be a great career move moving forward. So if you're hiring, reach out. Okay, then we have I Want to Leave, and it's like a spaceship like calling someone up, and feel that, especially after this dumpster, or this continual dumpster fire of a year. I'm a hacker, I'm really not. Caffeine, music, code, me. Maker's gonna make. Here is from, what is that? Peanuts, code. Stack Overflow, saved my life. We have Starbuck, from Battlestar Galactica, such a good show. And F Society from Mr. Robot, oh my gosh, also good. I think I watched the first season. I feel like the second season maybe went off the rails a little, but I think there's also a 3rd season. Could get back into that. Then we have Code, Review, Merge, Repeat. Dang. JavaScript developer, JavaScript. I don't know if you can tell, I know JavaScript. Then we have, you are the CSS to my HTML. This goes out to all of you watching this video. Heart, I have one hand. And then we have error 4 for girlfriend not found. So there's a funny story behind this, because my ex-boyfriend was not a fan of this sticker, which I told him was seriously a joke, because like, who puts that on their laptop? Like, you know, you kind of picture like I don't know, like the stereotypical geeky developer being like, 404, girlfriend not found. And I'm sorry to go there, but I got the sticker pack from Amazon, and I just thought that was hilarious. And so, yeah, but also at the same time, I was like, but I don't have a girlfriend, so. There were more stickers in the sticker pack. I gave some of them away. One was really great. It was like, I hate coding, or like, it was like, I hate coding. And it was like, I solved it. I love coding. And I showed it at the time to someone from another developer at my contract job, and he was just like, yes, but cut off the bottom part. So the last day of my contract was coming up, I gave like the 2 other developers bottles of wine, because I was like, you helped me out so much, and I learned so much on this job. And so on his wine bottle, I snipped off the bottom and gave it to him, and I was like, alright, it was like around Christmas time, I was like, happy holidays. And then he slacked me after that, being like, Claire, I just got the joke, I saw you cut the sticker. And it made my holiday, truly. So those are my morning thoughts. Thank you for tuning in. Hopefully there will be a 3rd installment of this quarantine comedy special. I really enjoyed doing this. I think I'm going to put this in my mental health playlist, because this was definitely beneficial. It's great to share these stories with you all, and I hope you have a great day. And tune in for more videos. Thanks, bye!